Imagine for a moment that you're the kind of person people can't afford to lose. Not because you're demanding or because you push yourself into their lives, but because you've built such a strong presence, such an undeniable value, that your absence would be felt in a way they can't ignore. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and people pay attention. What if that wasn't just about confidence, but about the value you bring, the way you show up for others, and the energy you give off? Today, I'm going to share with you exactly what it takes to become that person, the one no one wants to lose. We're going to dive into how you can build yourself into someone so valuable, so unique, and so irreplaceable that people will fear the thought of you walking away. It's not about being perfect or constantly seeking validation. It's about making yourself so essential that your presence is felt in every room you walk into. You'll learn how to create a life that draws others to you, how to stand firm in your worth, and how to make sure that you are the person people can't imagine living without. If you've ever wondered how to be someone others truly depend on, how to create relationships that matter, and how to rise above the noise, then stay with me. I'm about to show you how to make them fear losing you. Number 1, stop begging for attention. Stop chasing people who don't see your worth. The moment you start begging for attention, you've already lost. You don't need to convince anyone to respect you, to care about you, or to value your presence. That's not how life works. The people who truly matter will recognize your worth without you having to prove it. And the moment you understand this, your life will change. Too many people waste their time trying to impress others, trying to get noticed, trying to be liked. But let me tell you something. Attention that has to be begged for is never real. If you have to constantly remind someone of your value, they don't see it. And if they don't see it, you're wasting your time. Think about it. Have you ever sent a message to someone and waited, checking your phone, hoping they'd respond? Have you ever tried so hard to be liked that you changed who you were just to fit in? Have you ever given too much in a relationship, only to feel unappreciated? That feeling, the frustration, the emptiness, it's a sign that you're chasing the wrong people. It's a sign that you're putting your energy in the wrong place. Here's what you need to understand. People value what is rare. When something is always available, always easy to reach, always there when they want it, they take it for granted. It's human nature. You don't notice the air you breathe until you're gasping for it. You don't miss the sun until it's been cloudy for days. And people won't appreciate you if you're always there, always giving, always waiting for them to notice you. The strongest position you can be in is when people fear losing you, not when you fear losing them. And that means you need to stop begging for attention. Stop over-explaining yourself. Stop trying to prove your worth to those who refuse to see it. The right people will see it. The right people will recognize it without you having to fight for it. Do you want to know the fastest way to get people to respect you? Respect yourself first. That means stop chasing, stop overextending, stop bending over backwards for people who wouldn't do the same for you. When you start valuing yourself, the world follows, but it starts with you. It starts with how you carry yourself, how you think, how you speak, how you allow others to treat you. The truth is, when you stop chasing, you start attracting. When you stop trying so hard to get people to notice you, they naturally become more interested. Why? Because confidence is magnetic. Strength is attractive. And a person who knows their worth doesn't need to convince anyone of it. They simply live in a way that makes it undeniable. You don't need to beg for attention. You don't need to force anyone to care. The moment you start begging, you're putting yourself in a position of weakness. And listen to me. You were not made to be weak. You were not made to lower yourself just to be accepted. If someone can't see your value, if someone doesn't respect your presence, that is their loss, not yours. Think about the most respected people in the world. The leaders, the visionaries, the ones people admire. Do they chase? Do they beg? Do they constantly try to prove themselves? No, they show up. They work on themselves. They focus on growth. And because of that, people gravitate toward them. Now, I know it's not always easy. Sometimes we want to be noticed. We want to feel important. We want to feel like we matter. But here's the thing. You don't need external validation to prove that you matter. You don't need approval from anyone. to be worthy. Your value isn't determined by who texts you back, who invites you out, who gives you a compliment. Your value is something that exists, whether others recognize it or not. And the moment you believe that, the moment you truly understand it, everything changes. Because when you stop needing attention, you become powerful. When you stop waiting for people to notice you, you become free. And when you focus on yourself, on your growth, on your goals, on your purpose, people will start noticing you without you even trying. So from this day forward, I want you to make a decision. No more begging, no more chasing, no more wasting energy on people who don't see your worth. Instead, focus on becoming someone they fear losing. And that doesn't mean playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It means becoming so strong, so confident, so valuable, that people recognize your worth without you saying a word. And if someone doesn't see it, if someone doesn't appreciate you, let them go. Their loss, not yours. Because you, my friend, are worth more than that. And the moment you stop chasing, you'll start attracting the people who truly deserve to be in your life. Number 2, develop irreplaceable skills. You want to make people fear losing you. Then you have to become irreplaceable. You have to develop skills, habits, and qualities that set you apart. Because let me tell you something, people don't fear losing what they can easily replace. If you're just like everyone else, if you don't bring anything valuable to the table, if you don't stand out in some way, then you're just another option. And in life, in business, in relationships, you don't want to be an option. You want to be the choice, the person they can't afford to lose. The problem with most people is they want to be valued, but they don't put in the work to be valuable. They want respect, but they don't develop the skills that make them worthy of that respect. They want to be chased, but they offer nothing worth chasing. That's not how it works. If you want to be someone people admire, someone they respect, someone they don't want to lose, then you have to be the kind of person they need in their life. And that starts with becoming irreplaceable. Look around. Look at the people who command respect, who are valued in their careers, in their relationships, in their social circles. What do they have in common? They bring something to the table that others can't easily find. Maybe it's their knowledge. Maybe it's their leadership. Maybe it's their ability to solve problems, to inspire others, to make things happen. But one thing is certain, they have something that makes them stand out. And that's what you need to build for yourself. So ask yourself, what makes you valuable? What skills do you have that separate you from the rest? What knowledge do you bring that others don't? What qualities do you possess that make people want to keep you around? If you can't answer those questions, then you have work to do. Because the truth is, in any area of life, whether it's your career, your relationships, or even your friendships, if you are easily replaceable, you will be replaced. Now let's talk about work. In your job, in your business, if you're just doing the bare minimum, if you're just showing up, collecting a paycheck, and doing what anyone else could do, then you are one decision away from being replaced. But if you develop expertise, if you become the person who knows how to solve problems, if you bring new ideas, if you go the extra mile, then you become indispensable. Your boss, your clients, your colleagues will look at you and think, we can't afford to lose this person. And that's where you want to be. But it's not just about work. The same applies to your personal life. In your relationships, if you're just there, if you're not adding value, if you're not growing, if you're not bringing something unique to the table, then you become just another person. And the hard truth is, people don't fear losing what doesn't feel special. They don't fight for something they think they can replace. You have to ask yourself, what makes me different? What am I working on that makes me better than I was yesterday? How am I improving? Because if you're staying the same, if you're not evolving, if you're not learning, then you're falling behind. The world doesn't wait for you to catch up. People don't wait around for you to become better. If you want to be valued, you have to earn it every single day. Think about the most successful people in the world. They never stop growing. They never stop learning. They never stop developing new skills. They understand that the moment they stop improving is the moment they become replaceable. And if they, with all their success, still push themselves to be better, What excuse do you have? The truth is, no one owes you attention, respect, or appreciation. You have to create your own value. You have to give people a reason to want you in their life. You have to make yourself so valuable that they fear losing you. Not because you demand it, but because they see for themselves how much you bring to the table. And here's something you need to understand. Being irreplaceable doesn't mean being perfect. It means being necessary. It means developing qualities, skills, and habits that people recognize as rare and important. It means being the kind of person who makes a difference wherever they go. So if you want people to fear losing you, stop worrying about their opinion and start working on yourself. Become the kind of person that brings value, that makes things happen, that stands out in a way that others don't. And when you do that, you won't have to ask for respect. You'll command it. You won't have to chase people. They'll want to keep you around. Because in the end, people don't fear losing what's ordinary. They fear losing what they know they'll never find again. So make yourself that person. Become irreplaceable. Number 3, set high standards for yourself. If you don't set high standards for yourself, no one else will. People treat you based on the expectations you allow. The world mirrors what you project. If you accept less, you will get less. If you tolerate disrespect, you will be disrespected. But if you demand excellence, if you set the bar high, not just for others but for yourself, people will rise to meet it, or they will step aside. Either way, you win. The reason so many people feel unappreciated, undervalued, and overlooked is because they never established a clear standard for how they should be treated. They accept what is given to them instead of setting the terms. They allow mediocrity in their work, in their relationships, in their health, and in their daily habits. And when you accept mediocrity, that's exactly what you get. But here's the truth. Nobody ever became respected, admired, or successful by settling for average. The ones who stand out, the ones who are valued, the ones people fear losing are the ones who demand more, from themselves first, and then from the world around them. Think about it. Every great leader, every high achiever, every person who commands respect, what do they have in common? They hold themselves to a higher standard. They don't take shortcuts. They don't cut corners. They don't make excuses. They show up every day with discipline, with focus, and with an unshakable belief in their own worth. And because they expect more, they get more. You see, life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you tolerate. If you allow laziness in yourself, don't be surprised when your results reflect it. If you allow disrespect from others, don't be shocked when they continue to walk all over you. If you allow yourself to live below your potential, you can't expect success to come knocking on your door. It all starts with what you accept and what you reject, and that is determined by the standards you set. Most people go through life with no real standards. They live reactively, accepting whatever comes their way, hoping things will get better without making any real changes. But hope is not a strategy. You don't get what you deserve in life. You get what you demand, and that demand starts with you. Ask yourself, what are your standards? Not what you wish they were, not what you hope they will be someday, but what they are right now. What do you allow in your life that you shouldn't? What habits are keeping you stuck? What kind of people do you let into your circle that bring nothing but negativity? What excuses do you tell yourself that keep you from reaching your potential? If you're honest, you'll realize that the level of success, respect, and fulfillment you have in your life is directly tied to the standards you hold. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to raise your standards. It's not. It requires discipline. It requires courage. It requires being willing to walk away from anything and anyone that doesn't align with the level you've set for yourself. But the moment you do this, everything changes. People respect those who respect themselves. They admire those who refuse to settle. When you hold yourself to a higher standard, others take notice. Your energy shifts. The way you carry yourself changes. You no longer attract people who take advantage of you because they sense you won't tolerate it. You no longer accept half-hearted effort from yourself because you know you're capable of more. You start to see real progress, real results, real growth, because your standards force you to show up differently. Raising your standards is not about being arrogant. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about recognizing your own value and refusing to compromise on it. It's about expecting more because you know you are capable of more. And when you hold yourself to a higher standard, People either rise to meet you, or they fade away. Either way, you are left with what truly serves you. The truth is, you don't lose good people by setting high standards. You lose the wrong people. The ones who weren't willing to grow. The ones who were only there because they benefited from your low expectations. The ones who never respected you in the first place. And once they're gone, you make room for the people who see your worth, who match your energy, who bring value to your life, instead of taking from it. The same applies to your work. If you do what's easy, life will be hard. If you do what's hard, life will be easy. When you hold yourself to a standard of excellence, when you refuse to cut corners, when you push yourself to be better every single day, success becomes inevitable. You don't have to chase it. It comes to you. Because high standards produce high-quality results, and high-quality results create opportunities. Every single day, you are making a choice. You are either reinforcing your standards, or you are lowering them. Every time you let something slide, every time you allow yourself to fall into bad habits, every time you ignore that little voice in your head that tells you to do better, you are telling the world and yourself that you are okay with less, and the world will respond accordingly. So if you want people to fear losing you, if you want to command respect, if you want to attract better opportunities, better relationships, and a better life, it starts with you. Set the bar high and hold yourself to it. Expect more and watch how your life transforms. Because at the end of the day, you don't get what you wish for. You get what you work for. You get what you demand. And the moment you raise your standards, the moment you refuse to accept anything less than what you truly deserve, that's the moment everything starts to change. Number 4, create a life others want to be part of. If you want to be someone people respect, admire, and fear losing, you have to build a life that others want to be part of. A life so full of purpose, growth, and success that people feel lucky to be around you. But here's the thing. Most people don't do this. They spend their time chasing others, begging for attention, and trying to fit in, instead of creating something worth being part of. If you want people to value you, to see you as someone they can't afford to lose, then you have to become someone who stands out, someone who has built something real. Look around. The most successful, respected, and admired people aren't out there chasing approval. They aren't desperate for validation. They're too busy building a life that naturally attracts the right people. They focus on their mission, their goals, their personal growth, and because of that, people want to be around them. People want to be part of what they're creating. That's what you need to do. You need to become someone so driven, so focused, so committed to your own success, that people recognize your value without you having to say a word. Most people live their lives reacting to everything around them. They wait for things to happen, instead of making things happen. They spend their time complaining about what they don't have, instead of building what they want. And then they wonder why no one takes them seriously, why they're overlooked, why they feel invisible. It's because they haven't taken control of their own life. They're waiting for permission, for the right time, for someone else to validate them. But if you want to be respected, if you want to be valued, if you want people to fear losing you, then you need to take charge. You need to stop waiting and start creating. When you become the kind of person who is always improving, always learning, always growing, people take notice. They see that you have something special. You're not like the rest. You're not just going through the motions, doing the bare minimum, accepting whatever comes your way. You're building something bigger, and that's attractive. That's inspiring. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who have built successful businesses, strong relationships, incredible lives. They didn't get there by accident. They put in the work. They made sacrifices. They stayed disciplined when others got distracted. They had a vision, and they didn't let anything or anyone pull them away from it. That's the mindset you need to adopt. You need to stop letting people and distractions take you off course. Most people spend their time chasing fun, chasing entertainment, chasing people who don't even respect them. And then they wonder why their life isn't where they want it to be. But let me tell you something. If you spend your time doing what everyone else does, you'll get the same results as everyone else. If you waste time on meaningless distractions, if you surround yourself with people who don't add value to your life, if you settle for less than what you're capable of, then you'll live a life of mediocrity. And that's exactly why most people are stuck. But the moment you decide to build something for yourself, to work on your skills, to develop discipline, to create a vision for your life, and commit to it fully, that's when everything changes. People start to respect you. They see that you're different, that you're not just another person drifting through life without direction. And suddenly, instead of you chasing them, they start chasing you. Because here's the truth. People want to be around winners. They want to be around those who make things happen. Those who are constantly growing, improving, and pushing themselves. That's who they fear losing. Not the ones who are always available, always trying to please everyone, always looking for validation. No, people fear losing those who don't need them. Those who are so focused, so driven, so independent, that their absence is felt. So if you want people to fear losing you, you need to build something that makes them realize your worth. You need to become someone who is on a path, so strong, so unshakable, that people recognize they're either going to keep up or get left behind. And let me tell you, the moment you do this, everything shifts. The way people treat you, the way opportunities show up, the way you feel about yourself. Because now you're not just another person trying to fit in. You're a force to be reckoned with. This doesn't mean you have to be rich, famous, or perfect. It means you have to be committed. Committed to your goals, committed to your self-respect, committed to never settling for less than you deserve. And that commitment, that's what makes people fear losing you. Not because you demand it, not because you beg for it, but because they see it for themselves. They see that you are on a different level. And the thought of losing you, of not being part of what you're building, makes them take you seriously. So stop chasing. Stop begging for attention. Stop worrying about who stays and who goes. Instead, start building. Start creating a life so strong, so fulfilling, so powerful that people don't want to leave. And if they do, let them. Because when you are truly focused on becoming the best version of yourself, the right people will recognize it. The right people will respect it. The right people will fear losing you. And that is the goal. Not to impress everyone. Not to be liked by all. But to be so valuable, so undeniable, that the people who truly matter, the ones who see your worth, will never want to let you go. Number 5. Master the art of walking away. If you want to be respected, if you want people to truly value you, then you have to master the art of walking away. Nothing commands respect more than someone who knows their worth and refuses to stay in places, situations, or relationships that don't align with it. But here's the truth. Most people struggle with this. They stay in situations that drain them. They tolerate mistreatment. They hold on to people who don't appreciate them. And they make excuses for why they can't leave. And because of that, they keep themselves stuck. But when you learn to walk away, when you make it clear that you are not afraid to leave anything or anyone that doesn't serve your growth, that's when people start to take you seriously. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem unshakable, the ones who command respect without even trying. They have one thing in common. They don't beg for attention, and they don't cling to what doesn't serve them. They don't argue for their worth. They don't stay in places where they're not valued. They know they bring value, and if someone doesn't see it, they move on. That's power. That's confidence. That's the kind of energy that makes people fear losing you. Too many people believe that if they walk away, they'll lose everything. They think if they let go of that job, that relationship, that friendship, they'll be left with nothing. But that's the wrong mindset. Walking away is not about losing. It's about making space for what actually aligns with your highest potential. It's about refusing to waste your time in situations that don't help you grow. When you stay in a place where you are not respected, where you are not valued, you are teaching the world how to treat you. Every time you tolerate less than you deserve, you lower your own worth in the eyes of others. And let's be honest, most people will take what they can get. If they know you will accept less, they will give you less. If they know you won't stand up for yourself, they will take advantage of that. Not because they are bad people, but because that's how life works. But the moment you decide, I am not going to accept this anymore, everything changes, because now you are setting a standard. You are saying, this is what I allow in my life, and anything less is not welcome. People fear losing those who have standards. They respect those who know when to walk away. They admire those who have the strength to say, this is not for me, and actually mean it. But here's the thing. You have to back it up with action. You can't just say you have standards. You have to live by them. You can't just talk about respect. You have to enforce it. If you tell people you won't tolerate something, but you keep accepting it, then your words mean nothing. You have to be willing to leave when something no longer aligns with your values, no matter how uncomfortable it feels. Walking away isn't just about people. It's about habits, environments, and mindsets too. You need to walk away from anything that is holding you back. Walk away from procrastination. Walk away from self-doubt. Walk away from the need for constant validation. Walk away from the habits that keep you stuck in the same place year after year. If something is not pushing you forward, it is pulling you back. And if it's pulling you back, it's time to let it go. But let's be real. Walking away is not easy. It takes strength. It takes discipline. It takes being okay with discomfort. Because when you decide to leave something behind, there will be a moment of uncertainty. You will question yourself. You will wonder if you made the right decision. You will feel the pull of familiarity. But let me tell you something. Nothing great was ever built in the comfort zone. If you want to level up, you have to be willing to let go of anything that is keeping you small. The hardest part is detaching from the fear of what happens after you walk away. That fear is what keeps most people stuck. They think, what if I don't find something better? Or what if I regret leaving? But let me tell you the truth. When you walk away from what's wrong, you make room for what's right. You create space for better opportunities, for better relationships, for a better version of yourself. You start to attract the kind of people and situations that match your new standards. And the best part, you realize you never really needed what you walked away from in the first place. If you want to be someone that people respect, if you want to be someone they fear losing, you must develop the ability to walk away without hesitation. No begging, no arguing, no explaining yourself over and over again. Just a quiet, confident decision to leave what no longer serves you. Because the moment you do that, the moment you show the world that you value yourself enough to walk away, people will see you differently. They will realize that you are not someone they can take for granted. They will know that if they want to be in your life, they have to step up. And that is where your power lies. Not in chasing, not in convincing, not in proving your worth to anyone, but in knowing it for yourself. When you understand your value, when you refuse to stay in places that don't align with it, you will never have to beg for respect. You will never have to chase anyone's approval, because people will see that you are someone they cannot afford to lose. So stop holding on to what is no longer serving you. Stop staying where you are not valued. Stop making excuses for why you can't leave. Walking away is not a weakness. It is the ultimate sign of strength. It is proof that you believe in yourself, that you trust in your own worth, that you know there is something better waiting for you. Make it a rule in your life. If it doesn't align with your growth, if it doesn't bring you peace, if it doesn't push you to be better, walk away. No hesitation, no looking back, and watch how your life transforms. Because when you master the art of walking away, you become the person people fear losing. And that is the kind of power that changes everything. Number 6, stop over-giving and over-apologizing. If you want to be respected, if you want people to take you seriously and value you, then you need to stop over-giving and over-apologizing. Too many people make the mistake of thinking that if they give more, if they bend over backward for others, if they constantly say, "I'm sorry" for things that don't even require an apology, then people will appreciate them more. But let me tell you something. That's not how it works. In fact, the more you give without limits, the more you apologize when you don't need to, the more people start to take you for granted. And when people take you for granted, they don't fear losing you. They assume you'll always be there, no matter how they treat you. That has to change. Giving is a beautiful thing. Helping others, being kind, showing up for the people in your life. These are all qualities of a strong and generous person. But there is a fine line between giving out of love and giving out of fear. When you give because you genuinely want to, because it aligns with your values, because it comes from a place of strength, that's powerful. But when you give because you're afraid of losing someone, because you want approval, because you think that's the only way people will like you, that's a weakness. And people will exploit it. Look around. The people who are most respected, The ones who have strong relationships and are admired by others. They don't overgive. They don't feel the need to constantly prove their worth through their actions. They know their value, and because they know their value, they give with intention. They set boundaries. They don't feel guilty for saying no. And because of that, people respect them.
Click here for part 2.